You're listening to the AOL Small Cap Show, powered by AGORACOM.com, the web's leading small cap portal.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Al O'Grady, and with us today is the president and CEO of Sage Gold, Mr. Nigel Lees. Sage Gold is a mineral exploration and development company which has interests in Ontario, Nevada, and Arizona. Its main properties are the Jacobus, Paint Lake, Solomon Pillars, and Onomont properties in the Beardmore Geraldton Gold Camp, and the Kerrs property in Ontario. Sage Gold trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol SGX, and on the Frankfurt under the symbol RSE1. Mr. Lees, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Al.
Yes. Nigel, let's jump right into this. Date of today's recording, Friday, May 22nd. Yesterday, Thursday, the 21st. Big news with Sage. You had announced that you had entered into an agreement to merge with Consolidated Puma. Nigel, what's going on?
Well, we're very pleased with this announcement. Consolidated Puma is a company which is primarily, its assets are cash. They've got approximately $3.5 million in cash. And they do have a property in Russia, which they will be exiting from over the next several months. For us, what it does is give us a very strong cash position at a difficult time. As you know, financing of small exploration companies has been quite difficult over the last 12 months. And what this will do is enable us to aggressively explore our properties, which are primarily focused in the Beardmore Geraldton Gold Camp, and as well provide a platform, we think, to further acquisitions of properties and or companies that have good assets, which we think can go into production over the relatively short term. So this gives us, this in our view, is a very, very good stepping stone to increased exploration activity and also to potential acquisition opportunities.
Right. You're kind of leading right into my question. I was going to ask, the $64,000 question is why, but I think as you had alluded to, it just gives you access to cash and working capital. Isn't that really the case?
Yes, we also actually get two good directors from Puma that will be named later coming on the board, and that's going to broaden our board to a very experienced a group of directors on the board. And it gives us a strong position in an environment that I think you and I have discussed before. We think one of the great opportunities here is consolidation of the industry, particularly the exploration side of the exploration and early development side of the business, where there are multiple companies. Some of them are having difficulty financing, but many of them have excellent assets.
Okay. What sort of benefits or impact does this have on existing shareholders with Sage?
Well, I think what it does is it gives them tremendous comfort that we're in a strong cash position, that we're not only going to survive a difficult market, that should give them comfort that we're in a position, hopefully, to really grow the company over the next several years. Okay,
and speaking of shareholders, obviously Puma has some shareholders. Any large shareholders within Puma that we should know about?
Well, the shareholdings are actually quite international. The one largest shareholder, and they own just under 35%, is Kinross Gold, which is, of course, a significant gold producer, and they're very much on side with this deal. So it's good to have them as shareholders of Sage once we complete this merger.
Okay, nice company to have with Kinross, isn't it?
Yes, and they've done very well. I don't know whether you follow the company. They've got the stock has been doing very well over the last 12 months, and the company is also growing rapidly.
Okay, let's talk about some of your projects that you have on the go here. I understand you have a drill program slated for June. Is that still on track? And if so, where is it going on? And maybe if you can just give us an update on that.
Yes, our drill program on the Golden Extension, which is our discovery project in the Beardmore Geraldton Gold Camp, we will start drilling in June. Over the winter, we did a tremendous amount of trenching. Despite difficult weather conditions, we identified at least 7 gold-bearing vein structures with visible gold in them. We're now going to follow up with a drill program. We anticipate it'll be up to about 1,500 meters, and will be 12 to 15 holes, maybe just either side of 100 meters per hole. And we're hoping that to be able to intercept more than one vein structure. These surface vein structures are both parallel and cross-country, and so we're hoping to be able to drill and actually intercept more than one on many of these holes. So we're going to get an enormous amount of information. We haven't drilled this property before. We've just had excellent and very high grades on our trenching, and we think it's a pretty exciting program.
Okay. We were talking about Beardmore. Obviously, you have other interests. Anything else on the go in the next few weeks and months?
Well, as we reported a little while ago, we did do a 43-101 on our Links property, which is copper, gold, and silver, and that was a resource study. Our concentration, though, is primarily in gold. The other property that is a focus property in the area that we will and have been doing some work on is Paint Lake. And Paint Lake is next door to the Ontex 43-101 gold resource. They've had some tremendous results recently at Ontex through their drilling program. We worked on the property and trenched last year and got some very good results, gold veins on the surface. We also discovered late last year a new outcrop and a new vein structure, and we did some of that vein structure carried in the grabs, carried some gold. We've gone back and we've been actually trenching and clearing the surface, and we've seen some visible gold. So this looks like a really interesting target. We're going to follow up on that, and probably later this year we will be drilling Paint Lake.
Looking at gold prices, I know yesterday it was in the low 900s, 938, I believe, last time I saw. It seems that 1,000 seems to be some sort of psychological glass ceiling, if you will. Do you foresee gold shattering that 1,000 level?
Well, I think it absolutely will shatter 1,000. $64 million question is, when.
Right.
Seasonally, as there's always an expression, sell in May and go away. But the way gold is acting this year, in fact, it went through that 930, 935, which seemed to be a major resistance point. Today is currently trading actually closer to 960 an ounce. The $1,000 an ounce barrier has been there. I think it's only a question of time.
Right.
I think with the big news in the last month has been the Chinese have been rumored for a long time to be acquiring gold, have in fact confirmed that they've been a major buyer of gold. They also have been talking about moving away from using exclusively the U.S. dollar and maybe a basket of currencies and maybe gold in them. So I think that we're seeing Russia, we're seeing China on the buy side of the market. So I think the outlook for gold is extremely good. And as I said before, Al, that with the money creation that's been occurring from the Fed in the U.S., I think it's inevitably going to lead to higher rates of inflation, and gold, I think, will follow that. So I'm very bullish. I remain very bullish on gold. Yeah,
you're not the only one to have made that comment about inflation. When you were talking about China being a buyer, you forgot to mention India, major buyer of gold.
Well, that's right. And India, of course, has been a very traditional buyer, and it's used for many things, including the wedding season, and it's used as a I guess, a currency in many respects. The Indians tend to be they seem to be quite shrewd buyers. When gold comes off, they seem to accumulate it, and they are a major factor in the market at most stages. But I think, and they have been there traditionally.
Right.
But I think the new news is that the confirmation of the Chinese interest, and of course they have the biggest foreign reserves in the world, and I think they're going to be a major factor in the future.
Right. Nigel, as always, that's it as far as our formal questions are concerned, but as always, I leave my guest with the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
Well, Al, I think just a reiteration. We will start drilling the Golden Extension in June. We will be working on Paint Lake, which is really a new area of Paint Lake, a new discovery area with visible gold. We're going to be working on that and drilling later this year. So we're going to start to get a lot of a lot of news, a lot of exciting news, hopefully, from our drill program. And with this new acquisition, hopefully that's going to be consummated by the end of July. We're going to be in a strong position as a company, not only to explore, but also make some strategic moves in the industry.
Nigel, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about Sage Gold.
Thank you, Al.
And Sage Gold trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol SGX and on the Frankfurt under the symbol RSE1. And you've been listening to Nigel Lees, President and CEO of Sage Gold, on today's CEO interview program. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks for joining us.